We are back once again talking about the congressional race between Brandon Herrera and the incumbent representative Tony Gonzalez in Texas's 23rd district. There's some huge news here, but first a little background. If you don't know, Brandon Herrera is a YouTuber who is running for Congress in Texas 23. He ran before and came pretty close to winning, and this time he's taking the incumbent Tony Gonzalez on once again. Now recently I've been covering some allegations against Representative Tony Gonzalez as part of my coverage of this race. Quick disclaimer, these allegations are not to be taken as fact. They are allegations made by third parties and should be taken as unverified rumor. That being said, the allegations against Tony Gonzalez are that he had an affair with a staffer who ended up dying recently. And for the longest time, Tony had refused to comment about the allegations. If we go to the Daily Mail article, we scroll down here, you will see that they say Tony Gonzalez did not respond to the Daily Mail's request for comment, but has continued to regularly post campaign content on X, sharing photos of himself at constituent meet and greets with supporters. At least from what the Daily Mail is saying, he was refusing to comment on the allegations to them. That being said, we finally did get some comments from Tony on the allegations at this event he went to called, I guess, Trib Fest. And essentially, here's the New York Post's coverage of it. Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez speaks out over claims he had an affair with aide who set herself on fire. Completely untruthful. Representative Tony Gonzalez decried the claims that he had an affair with his congressional aide before she set herself on fire as completely untruthful in his first public comments since her September death. Gonzalez, who represents Texas's 23rd district, which encompasses the southwest part of the state, denied that he was romantically linked with the 35-year-old aide. The rumors are completely untruthful, and her family has asked for privacy, the married congressman said during an appearance at the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin on Thursday, in accordance with the San Antonio Current. Obviously, when I talk about this, I try not to mention her name as much out of respect for what happened to her, so I replaced her name in a statement, but basically Tony is saying that it never happened. In politics, you have to have thick skin, and my name is on the door, so people are throwing rocks at me saying really nasty things. That's where we get that, he said. The father of 6 had not publicly spoken out about the rumors until Thursday, as his press office repeatedly refused to address the claims made in a Daily Mail report in October. Gonzalez says he was waiting for officials to rule out any criminal conduct before he spoke out over the tragedy, which they did do. We read an article the other day in my last video on this where it talked about how the Bexar County medical examiner had ruled out any criminal conduct in her death and ruled that it was self-inflicted. Anyway, Gonzalez said, "I don't know exactly what happened," he said at Thursday's event. "No one's contacted me. I haven't contacted anyone. I'm genuinely untrusting of these outlets. I'm waiting for the final report." Now, of course, with this, I should also mention that the family of the woman also denies the affair. So Tony Gonzalez now has officially denied the affair. The family has denied the affair. Whether or not you trust them is up to you. The Daily Mail seems to be standing by the reporting. I haven't seen any updates to the articles written about it. That being said, I felt that it was very important that I come forward and say that Tony Gonzalez has made a statement because I do try to be fair. And so when he makes a statement like this, I have to tell you guys. I even went back and on all the videos that I've made on this in the past, I've edited the top pinned comment to have a statement about how Tony Gonzalez says that these are completely untruthful. Now, of course, I don't know if we'll ever know what exactly happened. If Tony Gonzalez is telling the truth and there's nothing there, then I don't know how the Daily Mail seems to have sources telling them that this happened. It would be completely irresponsible of them to report this if they didn't believe it. So I don't really know where we stand on this anymore. Probably the last time I'm going to update specifically about the allegations against Tony, now that he's finally spoken out, unless there's some big break in the case and some new information comes out. But it seems like there's not going to be anything else as the records are being sealed and Tony has made a statement finally. That being said, now that we've gone through the important and kind of heavy part of this video, some of the other things that Tony said at this event were a little weird, right? And of course, these are this guy, Tony Ortiz, a publisher for CurrentRevolt.com. These are his interpretations of what happened. He says, Gonzalez asked the audience to raise their hands if they are registered Republicans. There is no party registration in Texas. It's possible he just misspoke. He then says he supports Trump's $2,000 stimulus checks. Some of the audience booed at that. Gonzalez is asked about his run against Brandon Herrera, the AK guy. Gonzalez says, "I've beaten him multiple times and I'll beat him again. We call them zombies. You knock them down and they get up again. We'll beat him." This statement is weird because Gonzalez has not run against Brandon Herrera multiple times. They only ran against each other once, as Brandon points out in his response to this. He says, multiple times? Did Tony Gonzalez somehow forget I've only run once? Not to mention it cost you $13 million to beat me last time, and something tells me you won't have that same support again. And then go down here and you see, this was our map when you outspent me 10-1. With a more level playing field, this map should keep you awake at night, Tony Gonzalez. And that's because, as you can see here, in the last primary election, Brandon only lost by about 400 votes, which is kind of crazy and unheard of for an incumbent to almost lose to a first-time challenger. Brandon did a great job in the last election.
If the incumbent doesn't get above 50% of the vote in the primary, he then goes into a special secondary election, where it's between the people who came in first and second, which means all the challengers were taken off the board except for me and Tony. What followed was a brutal 2-month runoff where I had all of the guns and money of the establishment pointed directly at my forehead, with over $10 million being spent against me, and it's not spent like 10 to 1. All that money being used on a campaign to essentially slander me where I live. I lost by like 400 votes, by 1%. That is the map of an incumbent that was not having a good time. DC was kind of panicking. I mean, even the Speaker of the House came down and campaigned against me in a primary. But you know what? I came away from it being pretty optimistic, thinking that, you know, even though we just narrowly lost, maybe, just maybe, it made a difference.
I think he's going to do even better this time. I think he's probably going to win this time. And then, of course, we finally had Tony Gonzalez talking about what happened. Gonzalez is asked about the recent scandal regarding his staffer who died via self-immolation. The rumors are completely untruthful. Her family has asked for privacy. I don't know exactly what happened. Nobody has contacted me. I am generally untrusting of these outlets. So there we have it. These are the important things that happened. I think it's a little weird that he thinks that he's beaten Brandon multiple times. I don't understand why he would say that. It's a little strange. But then again, I also saw this where he posted on Veterans Day how he supports veterans, and Brandon Herrera responded and said, "Oh, are we going to play this game? Let's see who can stack more veteran support. Gentleman's bet, I bet you $10,000 to the charity of your choice I can get more veterans to endorse me and my actions for the veteran community than even know your name."
I really didn't know if that was something I was ever going to do again. It was rough the last time, you know, getting $13 million spent slandering you where you live. I tell that story a lot now, like at the Texas Roadhouse, just me and you sitting at the bar trying to get some dinner, just have a steak, and just watching on ESPN2, like sitting there for an hour and watching 20 ads run in the hour of, you know, Brandon Herrera hates veterans and kicks puppies. It's just, it's shitty. Like, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, dude, them veterans, yeah, am I right?
I hate them so much, they're almost exclusively who I hang out with and who we raise tons of money for. That's what pisses me off.
Brandon is on full offense, calling out Tony literally anywhere he can.
I don't think that we're both unreasonable people by any means. I've only ever attacked you on policy. Some of my friends, well, I can't speak for them, but as far as advertising and, you know, politics and whatnot, I've literally only ever attacked on policy. I don't think for a fucking moment you believe that I don't support veterans or veterans causes. I don't believe that. The fact that you continue to attack on that, and the fact that you spend so much of your money attacking me, trying to pretend like I don't like veterans or that I don't support veteran causes, that I actually believe any of this shit, just proves that you're an actual disingenuous piece of shit if you attack me there.
And with that, that's the end of our video today. I just thought I had to update you guys with this new development because I think it's pretty important that I stay fair and report stuff like that when it comes out. Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be much more on the allegations against Tony. It seems like there's not going to be too much more information coming out about it now that he's denied it. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Do you believe him when he says that they're completely untruthful? And if you do, why do you think the Daily Mail seems to be standing by their reporting, along with all the other weird things in the investigation there? I don't really know what's going on anymore. It's just getting too weird for me, but I really did feel it was important that I update this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know how you feel about everything I've talked about here in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless you.